6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
This is episode number 428 of WPwatercooler, WordCamp US 2022. Back at it again.
The teal episode, apparently.
I'm Jason Tucker. You can find me at Jason Tucker on Twitter.
Oh, that's not me. That's Steve,
Nope,
but he's taking his daughter to college today, so he's not here. I'm Sarita. I teach WordPress, preach WordPress, make WordPress, eat WordPress, drink WordPress, dance WordPress.
And Say is eating into my intro, so I'm Jason Cosper, aka Fat Melonweg, back at it again on the world's most influential WordPress podcast.
I'm sorry, did you say podcast? Go over and leave us a review for this podcast. And if you're not listening to us as a podcast, you can go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever the best podcasts can be found.
I mean, you don't get this mug or those mugs, but
there's this thing where you take from the thing that you're going to talk about, and then you embed it into the artwork. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but it's kind of this like fusion type of thing. So I went and stole a graphic from their website, and then I used it for the background for our art. So we're infused.
Oh, so you do get the mugs.
Yeah.
Okay, wait till you get this shot right here.
It's fusion, like Mexican pizza or Korean tacos.
Yes.
I want both of those things. Okay, look,
Please.
Here we are, not to talk about the food I'm planning to eat in San Diego, or the fact that I'm not in San Diego right now. Because here's why. Do you want to just start? Should we just start with the story? Because I have already started my WCUS weekend, but I came home because the Pagely party, which was on Wednesday night, was supposed to be on Thursday night. And I was going to stay down and be there for, Friday or whatever. But it was on Wednesday, and I'm not staying over 2 nights. That's a lot of hotel money for someone who does not have a sponsored anything. So I came home, and now I'm not there, and I'll be there later.
So you're one of the few that are not sponsored at this event, is what you're saying.
I've been seeing those tweets, and I have a...
Oh no! Say's computer crashed in the pre-show, and it appears to have just crashed again.
Yeah,
there are a lot of sponsored folks at this WordCamp, though. It's pretty wild. Just seeing, not to pick on anyone, let alone the alleged existential threat to the future of WordPress, but. I do know that GoDaddy is there, and GoDaddy, I saw the GoDaddy Pro team, the group picture that they posted on Wednesday night. And I mean, there was 10 or 12 people up in that photo. And, you take a percentage of that out of the 650 people. I don't know how many people the large hosts and sponsors and everything else are sending, but it's what was I'm trying to remember. It was either The Onion or The Hard Times has this headline about ska band outnumbers audience, where it's the number of people up on stage in the ska band outnumber the audience. And I feel like that's low key what's going on here. All those sponsors, all the people that are there for, I know that DreamHost is sending a small group of people, but still a group of people. So it's really surprising how many people are there. I'm glad Say was telling us in the pre-show that she was talking with Andy Fragan, who is not sponsored. Say is not sponsored, so that there are people there. And now, Say, that you're back from your computer crash, since we've been vamping this whole time. Why don't you chime in with what you were? Yeah. Why don't you chime in with what you were going to say? I
can't spend the money on the hotel because I have to buy a new computer. These are our ups and downs. it's getting extreme, and it'll probably die again because it doesn't like me to do video streams anymore. Anyway, enough about me and my computer problems. Let's talk about me and WCUS. What was I trying to say is that it was because Central ruled after Pagely had put their party together that Pagely could not have a party on Thursday night because it was during the speaker sponsor dinner, the thank you dinner. And that so technically that's an official event. And so I guess technically at that point, WordCamp US starts at that dinner.
So then they went out to international waters and did the party there instead?
Well, it's more about violating WordCamp policy because, I mean, anyone can hire a boat and do that, right? Like, It's not like that is... So it's definitely gray area. I think that it was on one hand, I get it. And on the other hand, I think it's a shame that happened because, I'm not a Pagely or GoDaddy apologist by any means. We know this, yes. But they spent a lot of money on the boat, which was huge and had food and was actually really fun, despite the fact that you're locked on a boat for 3 hours. And we'll talk about the DJ in a second. But I realized, and I was talking to some folks from Give and Chris Ford, who's a designer, who's kind of OG WordPress people, about the fact that having a party at the beginning gets kind of all that ice broken. And there's always the thank you, the speaker sponsor party, they get that, but that's for them. And that's, I think, why the speaker sponsor volunteers really become kind of cohesive and they know each other, whatever. But there isn't that kind of event for WordCamp. And so it starts at the Friday night parties, which are you going to this? They're very splintered. And then Saturday night, we called the after party, which is now called WP Social, or WordCamp Social, which is a whole other thing. We called it the sad. We're like, that's kind of the sad party because you've just met these people that day, and then you're like, oh, we're here, and it's like, oh, well, you're leaving tomorrow. You're not, whatever. So having a party at the beginning really got everyone talking, got everyone excited. And then when we were leaving that event, everyone's like, see you Friday. Can't wait. People had made new friends, gotten introduced, made those connections. And that really, I think, and got everyone on Twitter excited, hashtagging. And that made, it actually has caused some FOMO for people. I know not you two, you have no FOMO, but some other folks on the internet, because now we're all kind of so we, now we're building on what we already started. And I actually think it's kind of a neat idea that could be incorporated in the future, at least for the bigger camps. But because the Thursday night party does always see everyone's kind of there if they're waiting for Friday, or Friday night party if they're waiting for Saturday. And it does feel kind of you just have to kind of go find your own thing. So I'm not against having a party at the same for everybody, like a welcome party or a welcome greeting night somewhere for everyone who's not going to the speaker sponsor dinner, to start the conversation and start people. And then, come to my booth or come to my talk that's happening, or,
start dictating things.
Start the dialogue for people that we're distributed. We're online. It takes everyone a minute to warm up and figure out who everyone is. I don't know if everyone saw. Did you guys see Mark Jakewith's little handy dandy thing that he made? So he apparently stayed up all night on Wednesday and made a flashcard app. Maybe you want to pull it up, Cosper. It's on his Twitter. But so he took, and he better. I hope he refreshes, because I was like, oh shoot, my Gravatar doesn't have my picture for that email. So I updated my Gravatar, but I'm not in the flashcard deck. But basically, he made a flashcard deck of everyone's Gravatars. And you can click on them and it'll go through it and tell you their names, so you can connect the name to the Twitter handle and the Gravatar and the photo that you've been looking at and chatting with. It's pretty clever. I think it's pretty cool. I actually was looking at it last night and I was like, oh, I don't know these people's names. I always want to call people by their handle.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, I met Angela Bowman and she's like, hi, I'm Angela. And I was like, Ask WP Girl? That's my contact.
Right.
And everyone calls me They Read Media.
There are so many people who only really know me as Booga. Like, and I mean, it was
click on the little people, like click on a couple people. And then you go and you start the quiz and you're like, I think that's James. I don't know James, but then you're like, Sarah, Mariana, which is kind of fun. Honestly.
That's fun.
You can like pull out the people that you're like, oh, I recognize these people. I've talked to these people.
But do I really know who they are? Let's find out.
You don't. Spoiler alert, you don't know their real names. Especially, I mean, I don't know if there's a higher proportion of neurodivergent people in WordPress. I've always felt like there is. So we're all, there's a lot of name, face, social issues.
Sure.
Everyone's like, it's fine. I don't remember your name either. Who are you?
So who was DJing that night?
Oh, okay. I've been talking this whole time, but I'm going to continue to talk. Should we just call this Say's episode? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So the DJ was DJ Z-Trip, which he's been a DJ for like 20 years. That's him. He has been called like America's best DJ, and I had heard him from a roommate's boyfriend like a long time ago, but wow, he was amazing. His DJ skills were just off the charts, and I commend. I can't recall the name of the person who did the Pagely event, but it was sad that that it couldn't be on the right night to have more people there, because it was awesome. And it was like prime rib or something was what we ate.
Pagely went crazy. Look at this.
Yeah, a little birdie told me that they're switching vendors, and so they have a lot of merch to give away. So
yeah, they do.
Get your merch on. Get your merch on.
That's fun.
Yeah, so they're like, come and take the merch. Anyway, so I danced a lot, and it was really fun. But I believe I got dance fished. Dance fished, yeah. So I was dancing, and there weren't a million. It's a WordCamp event. We're all a little on the less raging dance party side. But I am on that's my side. I'm the one on that side, offsetting the average. So I was dancing, and there were some other people dancing, and I figured they were they seemed European. They were European, and I figured they were just from like Yoast or like half of the like SiteGround, like half of the staff,
right.
Everything is remote, or just work it automatic. I don't even know. But so afterwards, and they were dancing a lot, and there were definitely some folks dancing. Ryan Rietveld and Carl Alexander were dancing. There was still good dancing. There was also a lot of talking. People were talking. It was great. But at the end, I went up to the folks that I had been mostly dancing with, and I was like, so who are you with? I was so excited to be like, what company are you with, whatever. And they're like, oh, we're with him. And they were like, with the DJ. They were his friends.
That's funny.
And I was so sad that they weren't my WordPress people. I was like, oh.
Oh, do you have a website?
I thought I had really found my people within my people. But no, they were imported by the DJ. I was sad, but I got a.
You didn't sell him a website?
No, although one of his friends said he used to be in Drupal, and so it was warming his tech geek heart that he was there. And I was like, well, don't say that loudly.
That's a bad word here.
Yes. They all thought we worked for Pagely, which I cleared that red up. I was like, nope, we don't. But anyway, I got a present from the DJ for my dancing. Wow, that I got dance fished. I know, it's really sad. Yes, dance fished. You guys, I just made it up. It's awesome. Like people lying to you on the dance floor, but I mean, they didn't lie to me. I just made terrible assumptions.
Say, you've been teasing this present for days.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, ready? Is it a mixtape? It's a mixtape. He gave me a mixtape he made, right? But wait.
Oh, that's cool.
But wait. Oh,
that's cool.
I literally, he showed this to me, and I like actually almost started tearing up. It was probably because I'd been dancing like a wild woman all night. But like, I was so excited about this. You can buy this on his website. It is merch.
That's cool.
But first of all, genius merch, right? Like, what a cool thing. So it's like a mix. It's not as stupid as you get a mixtape. It's rad. So everyone should go to djztrip.com or whatever and go buy it, because or we can share. I probably we should share his music, because wow, he's a good DJ. So I can't wait to listen to this. I have not yet, but I will. Anyway, that's my fun story. But
Nice.
those folks aren't WordPress people. So
so what do
now I'm mad at everyone for not dancing more.
Since you're the only one going, what are you like, what are you looking forward to?
You mean at the conference itself?
Yeah.
Not just the dance party?
Yeah. Like, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I had really the whole Pagely thing kind of borked my whole schedule, because I'd planned to be there Thursday and get there early Friday and just whatever. And now it's raining there, so you got to go. Anyway, I had wanted to be there for Mika's talk this morning. And also she canceled because she has COVID. I think there's been a few pullouts of not just people not going, but the speaker sponsor also.
Yeah.
So, if you want to go, you might be able to trade some people some last minute tickets. I don't know. But because of maybe they have COVID. Anyway, so I'd wanted to go to that. And then alternate was finally taking on my nemesis, which is, I think, just ending now, or it's still happening. WPCLI. It's like going from the CLI. I really, with Elaine, who's been on this show, I think on Dev Branch actually, right?
Yeah.
He really knows what he's talking about. So I was really looking forward to that. And I obviously was here. You can keep scrolling. The one that I'm excited about, and I need to make sure. I feel like I need to check that everybody's still doing this since there's been so many switches. But Sarah Cannon, who did a talk at the very first WordCamp that I went to, and she actually, if you can see, oh no, it fell down. You can't see it. I have a design that I still have, multiple designs framed from her talk back in literally, I think it was 2012. I think it's when we first started this. Anyway, so she's doing a talk about accessibility, which I definitely want to go to. And I feel like there's actually a lot of heavy hitters in the lineup. I really want to go to this Get Hooked using the right WP actions, because I like it when someone teaches me things and then I can get all updated. And this is what I've been missing the past few years, because it's nice to be able to go to something and just get an overview in 45 minutes, because so much changes all the time in the core, and it's just impossible to track all of it all the time. And so going to one of these talks really just gives you the overview to either validate, you do know you're on top of it, you do know what you're talking about, or to give you, you can't do much in 45 minutes. You're not going to learn everything about that, but it does give you the ability to know what you don't know, or know what else is out there that you might want to go learn about. So are you playing a video?
Yeah, I was looking to see, they're actually doing streams, which I think
that's so pretty. Great. Oh, is it streaming right now? We could stream and stream.
We've done that before.
I know, but this is easy. They've done a better job. This, I also want to commend.
We only do that when Matt's on the stage.
The site are just unbelievably gorgeous. I love the palette. I love it.
Yeah, we only do that when Matt's on stage, though.
Yeah, we're only roast people live. That's kind of us. But look at this. This is beautiful. Is this does this require a ticket?
No.
Or it's just free live stream?
Free.
That's amazing. Yep. I think this must be the first time that's just, you don't even have to register at all, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they made a limit.
Look at that. You've got your chat. You've got your this site is really just knocking it out of the park. Yeah. You've got your closed captions, which is running even if you're not running the video. Yeah. You've got your chat. You've got sponsors there. I'm really impressed by the website. I've been impressed by the website. Another cool tiny thing, if you scroll all the way to the top. Look at that top corner, Wi-Fi. They don't make you look for it, right?
Oh, that's
just
cool.
Just go get it. You just go to the site and it's on every page. I don't know why that hasn't been a thing before, but I noticed that and I was like, that's one of those tiny UI choices that just make everything easier, like reduce the friction of everyone's experience. Like the people looking for the Wi-Fi, the people trying to help people get the Wi-Fi, tiny little choices like that make a huge difference. Now, I do have something I wanted to amplify a little bit from Michelle, whose last name Michelle F is what I call her because I don't know how to pronounce it properly. Frechette. There you go. I'm really not great at pronouncing things if I've only read them. Michelle Frechette. Was talking briefly with her and another attendee named Tiffany at the party, and Michelle's really disappointed because while at the page she's in a wheelchair and she uses a wheelchair, and at the Pagely party she couldn't go to the top deck. There was elevators down in the boat, but there wasn't anything to the top deck. And she said she was okay with that because it's a private party, whatever. It's not, it's a boat. What are you going to do, right? But apparently the venue that WordCamp US is at, they didn't have accessible front doors. So she couldn't hit the button and then have the door open. She had to do the whole back up, pull the thing, whatever. And then also the bathrooms, well, I'm sure they're, to whatever code, but they were, or maybe there's, a more accessible one further away or something. But she said that the doors weren't working. And it's not that she doesn't have people who are willing to help her, because she absolutely does. She has and whatever, but it's just a barrier to both literal barrier to entry, not being able to get in the front door. And then, a barrier to being able to just be there. So she was talking about...
It's not that she doesn't have anybody to help her. It's that she shouldn't have to have anybody to help her.
Exactly. Right. She should be able to go, because if she didn't, if she was a new person who had not been to, didn't have a network within WordPress or friends, then she's just relying on the help of strangers or organizers, which again, they would probably help her, but that is a barrier that we're placing in front of people's accessibility. So we are, we're definitely trying, but there was some talk about just the fact that there is a lot of talk in WordPress about accessibility and being for everyone and being open to everyone, both the software and the community. And yet there are still these hidden barriers. Even...
Uh-oh. Her computer freaked out again. Shucks.
Say is right, though. There are these barriers here that really... just make it extremely hard for folks to feel included. I mean, that is especially Michelle's feedback, coming from Michelle, she runs underrepresented in tech.
Right. Not a good look.
Right. When you have the person who is working on inclusivity in the WordPress and tech space, go, hey, y'all dropped the ball here. Not, like you said, not a good look.
Yep.
So say kind of touch on this. Oh, go on.
Go. No.
No. Please finish out the thought.
Yeah. It makes me wonder, if the venue has this sort of these types of limitations that are in place, that could another venue have been a better solution for it, that maybe didn't have on-site? I don't know. It just seems weird to be able to, because the whole venue and everything is happening all in one place, right? It's where you could get a room there as well as all of that. So I don't know. It just seems like they're, because of the limitation of the number of people that could be there, and because of the limitation of, the different things that are being made available to the attendees, maybe this is where you should be looking at a better venue, a better setup for it. And what is it that you had to go through in order to be able to come up with this particular location? Say one of the things I was mentioning is this venue, if it didn't have all the boxes checked, what boxes were checked that made for this place to be good enough, but not the best?
I would say is probably about reconnaissance, especially for WordCamp US. That's a distributed team. So I don't know who on the team lives in San Diego or like went to the venue. And if they did that with like a measuring tape, you know, they probably just said, the venue probably said, oh yeah, we're accessible.
Yeah.
And then that,
like years ago, it happened at like the Baseball Hall of Fame. They took over the Baseball Hall of Fame and made that WordCamp San Diego. That was an awesome venue. Now, I don't know how accessible it was or any of that sort of stuff, but just the venue itself was made to do, you just had huge rooms that you could go into and all that sort of thing. Now, could you sleep there? No. But, there's because isn't that the thing, is that this place is also happening at the same place that people are sleeping at? Isn't there like
a hotel? Is it all in one? I guess. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's all of the town and country. I think so. Yeah.
So it just makes me think it's like there could have been some better, ways of looking at this. Maybe that weren't, super accommodating for people that are staying there to also go and participate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they thought about it, but I think this comes under the umbrella of folks who don't need accessible things making choices for people who do need accessible stuff.
But she's also not the only person.
Right, she's not.
Too. So there's other people that are also there that may have other things,
right, who I didn't talk to or didn't whatever. Yeah, exactly. So there's only a couple minutes left, but before I get booted off my freaking computer again, my computer shuts down again, I want to talk about one other big change, and we can talk about some of the talks maybe next week or something, but one other big change is that there is no State of the Word at this US, which is a huge change that has not happened since San Francisco. Before it was WordCamp US. The whole time when it was WordCamp San Francisco, there was the State of the Word, and then changed to WordCamp US, and it is has been the State of the Word. And now at the end of Saturday, there is a chat with Matt Mullenweg,
which feels very WordCamp Europe.
I've not been, so I don't know, but I get that, because if my assumption is that State of the Word is just going to be its own online only event, and from now on to just match the distributed thing and not have the State of the Word favoring the US instead of WordCamp Europe or WordCamp Asia or whatever. That's my guess. It's just really digging into the distributed model. But I do think it's interesting because it's a chat with, so it's all question and answer. It's not a little talk, like he's not talking first, I don't believe. It just says the description that it's just, come ask your questions, which, the State of the Word is so, the questions are really pre-screened and all of that now, right? And so this is obviously going to be a lot less high profile. It's just a question and answer session. So if any of the kind of live questions or more of the gotcha questions that have, kind of been a thing in the past, I think it's just a much lower profile for that. And, it makes State of the Word much more pristine. Like, it really keeps it controllable and its own thing. If it's all online, it's all managed. So there's no, other component of that. So I just think that's an interesting change. Oh, the other change is that the after party is not called the after party. It is called the WordCamp Social, but I think I already said that. So there's some name changes, and there's some
curious. I'm curious who is going to take the Morton slot for questions during question and answer, because we gotta get someone to pitch a fastball. Like, really, we need to, like, those are always occasionally frustrating.
But Morton's questions were never just gotcha questions, right?
They weren't.
They weren't. That's the difference. He didn't go there with the intention of, putting any gum in the works or whatever. He had legitimate questions that, while they may have been, putting hot coals under the feet or lighting some fires to the feet or whatever, I don't know, holding feet to the fire. There we go. But
you found it.
It wasn't intentionally meant to like trip him up, So it was meant to draw attention to the issue and possibly like amplify it and kind of force an answer maybe, but not to be just not to mess with someone. I don't believe. So I think if people have great questions, I think the problem is, Matt's vibe creates the just the way that it is positions a very kind of inherent respectful relationship, which I am fine with, respect and kindness, obviously. But I think people who don't have a lot of, who don't feel confident in their place in the community necessarily, or want to fit into it better or something, aren't going to necessarily ask their more difficult questions. And maybe Morton had that privilege really as a, really highly educated white male who'd been in the space a long time. So I don't know that there's so many people able to take up that spot, but I do hope that we are able to have some questions that are really real questions and not just kind of placation marketing. What else do you think you could do that's amazing? That.
And
that's
what I want. That's what I want to see still. Now that Morton has kind of stepped away from the community, is a thoughtful question that a little bit knocks Matt back on his heels, and he has to actually think about it.
I mean, I don't know about knocking back on anyone's heels, but definitely a question that doesn't have a rote answer just ready off the bat. I don't know if we will get that, honestly, because I feel like we're in the isolated era of WordPress, and there's a lot of animosity with the whole GoDaddy existential threat thing. So I'm interested to see how it works out. And I hope to attend the chat tomorrow, and I will report back next week.
Yes. With that being said, it is now the end of the show. Thanks for hanging out with us. Here's our outro.
Bye, y'all.
Go over to WPwatercooler.com/subscribe to subscribe to this content over there.
Subscribe.
Listen to us as a podcast. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the other places you can listen to find podcasts. We really appreciate it. We're also on YouTube as well. Talk to y'all later. You have a good one. Bye-bye.
Subscribe.